Hey Exiles, I know what you're thinking. Talkative try. Grinding Your Games only released a 30-second teaser of the new Path of Exile 2 leak. How in the world does it justify them dropping a nuke all about PoE2? Well, I am about to justify that title with this video because the release of the teaser for the fate of the Vaal, if you thought people were excited about the Druid coming to PoE2, well, just take a look at the comments about Atziri possibly appearing in this game. Seriously though, that 30-second teaser has so much info packed into it for those of you who haven't played Path of Exile 1, especially because Grinding Your Games is using prior league mechanics and prior game mechanics as inspiration for the new PoE2 leagues. And now we know what league we're getting in PoE2. It's not The Last of the Druids. That's the title of the expansion or the content update. The actual league mechanic, much like Rise of the Abyssals, is called The Fate of the Vaal, and there's a lot of potential inside that title. So I am going to back up all of my claims, my nakedly ridiculous nuke claims, with all of this video. If I manage to back it up, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel with the bell notifications on. Also, leave a comment. Are you excited for Atziri? First of all, the teaser. What does it mean? Well, this person right here is almost without a doubt Queen Atziri of the Vaal, the individual that communes with the beast at the end of Act 3 before we go back to the present with Doriani. Remember, her communion with the beast causes one of the great cataclysms of Rayclast, spreading corruption across the land, wiping it out, and destroying the entire Vaal civilization. I think the moment that we're seeing in this trailer is her communing with the beast. Now, I thought this meant a magical ritual with the beast of thaumaturgy. It appears Jazzarus, guest on the Still Sane podcast, was right. Roll the clip.
When we are doing stuff related to the Vaal and Atziri, they say that Atziri wanted to commune with the beast, and that created the cataclysm. I have some discussions in my community because apparently they are interpreting this whole thing wrong. I think that Atziri communing with the beast means that she was going to fuck the beast.
No!
I think that she fucked the beast.
No!
Brother, they are saying communing to leave it open to interpretation. They can't say in the game, oh, she's going to fuck the beast. They can say that.
Right. So
they say commune. They say commune because of that, dude. And she's absorbing the beast energy through her pussy.
No!
Oh my check God, this out. She's a four-tiered god, queen, lustful, prideful. She's 100% doing that. And when the beast came, that was a cataclysm. Right there.
Okay, so we know what this moment is, but what does it mean for the game? Because this is in the past, okay? So this means either we are time traveling back to Act 3 once more and encountering this moment, and there's some time travel shenanigans, which has already happened with Alva, and this is going to be involved with the league mechanic, or somehow Atziri is in the present, and people are saying this is Act 5. There's no way this is Act 5. This is not Act 5. I'm going to say that again. This is not Act 5. Act 5 is Oriath. Oriath in the present. Atziri is not an Oriath. There's no way that's Oriana. That is almost without a doubt Atziri. She just doesn't have 4 breasts like she does in all other appearances throughout PoE1 and PoE2. This is either a league mechanic that takes us back to that ancient era, or there is a possibility that it's Act 6. Okay, hear me out, right? Because Act 5, Oriath, Act 6, I'm pretty sure has to do with the beast, perhaps us diving inside the beast. It's supposed to be very action-oriented, nonstop from beginning to end, half the length of Act 5, Act 4, Act 3, so on and so forth. So maybe there's some time travel shenanigans with Atziri coming to the present, much like Doriani came to the present, and we encounter her in Act 6. Or maybe when we go inside the beast, there's a whole bunch of lore with all the people who have formerly communed with the beast. I don't know. It could be that. So Grinding Your Games could be dropping another nuke and releasing Act 5 and Act 6 with this update, even though I lean toward this being a part of the actual league mechanic. So what might those league mechanics be? Well, to talk about this, we need to go back all the way to the very first content update for Path of Exile 1 in 2013, 1.1, The Sacrifice of the Vaal. That is when Queen Atziri was first introduced. She was the premier pinnacle boss in Path of Exile 1 way back when. You dove into her alluring abyss and you fought her. She was an awesome boss fight. She still is in Path of Exile 1. And to reach her, you had to find these sacrifice fragments that were in Vaal side areas, which were basically corrupted main areas, filled with Vaal creatures and mini-bosses. So that is one potential idea of a League mechanic. These side areas that you would find scattered throughout campaign zones and map zones. And when you hopped into them, they had crazy modifiers, wild Vaal creatures, buffed up Vaal creatures, of which there are a lot in PoE2 already. I'm sure they would add more. And then Vaal specific mini bosses. And then at the end, there would be some sort of reward that would give you a way to access Atziri. I think that's also very likely in this league. I think we'll be fighting Atziri. Grinding your games would not just show the 4-boobed queen without us being actually able to encounter her. Maybe we'll fight her in pre-4-boob form. I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. But I'd reckon in some regard, we will be encountering Queen Atziri. Additionally, in 1.1, there was another awesome mechanic added that stayed in the game forevermore, and I think it would serve excellently in Path of Exile 2, and I'd reckon this is one of the new reward mechanics that is coming in 0.4, and that is Vaal skill gems. Okay, so Vaal skill gems in PoE 1, and remember guys, these are all just inspirations for what will happen in PoE 2. Abyss in PoE 1 looks nothing like Abyss in PoE 2. And I hope they do the exact same thing with whatever mechanics they decide to transform to Path of Exile 2. I don't want a one-to-one copy. I don't want no ritual. I don't want expedition. I don't want delivery. I want something new, and I'm confident they're going to accomplish that with this. I'm just giving you guys the background. So back to Vaal skill gems. These are gems that you cannot consistently use. Instead, to use them, you have to power them up with souls. So when you kill a monster, you capture its soul. Certain monsters have more souls, and when their gem fills up to, let's say, 100 souls, you can use the Vaal version of certain skill gems. So for example, there is a version of Vaal Cyclone, the ability where you spin around in a circle, right? It's the one that everybody wants in PoE2, whirlwind attack, okay? And instead of you just continuing to spin in the circle, now during Vaal Cyclone, you also pull all enemies in the area in toward your spinning cyclone so you can kill them easier. There's Vaal Cleave, where instead of just a basic cleave attack, your cleave gains this demonic arm. And if you kill a rare enemy with it, you steal its modifiers, much like Headhunter. There are plenty more examples, but I'd argue that wouldn't be cool in PoE2. You know what? In Path of Exile 2, they have a lot more resources. They have a lot more freedom with animations and effects. Why not just make a whole new class of Vaal skill gem? Not upgraded versions of Lightning Arrow or Tempest Flurry or Ice Strike or anything like that. Instead, you have, just like the lineage support gems, you have Vaal skill gems, and you have Apocalypse, the skill Apocalypse, and its classification is Vaal skill gem. Or you have this skill Summon Chimera. Instead of being able to just summon the bear and wolves, which should be coming in this update with the druid, you can summon the Chimera that we find in the Vaal Trials of Chaos for a short duration. I think that would be so sick, a cool evolution. It's not just a better version of an existing skill that you'd be able to use every so often. Instead, it's a truly meaty, I think I saw Neversink say on Twitter, an ultimate-like ability. I think that would be rad. And of course, you would get them from whatever form of new League content is introduced with the Fate of the Vaal, which it could be these Vaal side areas, which are juiced to the brim with Vaal creatures, or it could be one of my personal favorite League mechanics from PoE 1, one of my big money makers, actually, for a very not smart player like myself, and that is Incursion. You might recognize the lady in this little Incursion trailer from way back in the past. June 1st, 2018 to be specific. In this now ancient Path of Exile 1 League, you joined Elva on an expedition to the past, to the Temple of Atziri. You constructed this temple by visiting rooms in your maps or your campaign zones, clearing the rooms, killing a mini-boss and adding it to the temple, connecting different rooms in the temple together, and at the end of a set of these incursions, you would create a full Temple of Atziri. After you'd created the full thing, you would then join Elva in a raid to the temple that you constructed, with treasure rooms, boss rooms, league mechanic rooms, just rooms where you kill stuff, rooms that change the environment of the entire temple, and at the very end, there was a Roomba that you could kill. Additionally, you could even fight Queen Atziri in her corrupted form in the Temple of Atziri. This, instead of the Vaal side areas, could be the league mechanic that we're seeing transformed from PoE1 to PoE2, and I would not complain. This could be sweet. Just like 1.1, Incursion also introduced a brand new sort of reward mechanic, and many of you are probably familiar with it somewhat in PoE2, and that is corruption. Right now in Path of Exile 2, you can corrupt an item with a Vaal orb, and you can get a great outcome, a good outcome, or a trash outcome, or really no outcome. Well, in Incursion, they introduced a way to double corrupt an item with the Locus of Corruption. Instead of just touching your item once with the Might of Atziri and the Vaal, it would do it twice, and you could get 2 corruption outcomes. And I know there are a lot of gamblers out there who would love that in PoE2. So those are the 2 very likely league mechanics that are coming with Fate of the Vaal, revamped for PoE2, but I'd like to throw one into left field right here and now. And it's mostly because of the line on the thumbnail for this particular teaser. The mirror does not lie. Now, what could that mean? I'd like to just throw out there that it's possible that we might get a Scourge-like mechanic for PoE2 during this league, wherein instead of going to a side area or doing incursion or something like that, we transform the entire area into a mirrored, Vaaled, cataclysmic version that we then fight monsters in, get rewards from, so on and so forth. There is also a chance they go in a totally unexpected direction here and pull from other prior league mechanics and just slap Vaal on top of it in an awesome way. Or maybe they just create something perfectly unique for Path of Exile 2, something many of us, including myself, have really yearned for, instead of just taking PoE1 stuff, putting it in PoE2, doing something PoE2 only. Now, with Rise of the Abyssal, we knew exactly what we were getting for the most part. We knew it would be Abyss focused. With this, there's many different possibilities, and that small chance it's something totally out of left field, and it's Act 5 and 6. But anyway, let's transfer back to the lore of the league for just a brief moment, because I do got to shout out Grinding Your Games. The past 2 leagues, especially Rise of the Abyssal and then Keepers of the Flame in PoE1, they have gone in on the lore, the exposition, the dive into the story. There's little gimmicks and flourishes all throughout the actual story. So if they tease something as crazy as this, seeing Queen Atziri in her prime, well, that is debatable, I suppose. Before she is corrupted by the beast, before she communes with it, I think we're going to get some major story drops that people have been excited about for a very long time. Doriani, for the longest time, was this mysterious character in the Path of Exile universe. There were many lore videos and speculation about him on the forums, stuff by Kit and Kat Noodle, wherein people are talking about Doriani, and Grinding Your Games are dropping all these hints into the game about this guy. And then finally in PoE2, in that 3rd trailer or the 4th trailer before release, we see him and we get to encounter him in the actual campaign. We ally with him, we bring him to the present day, and now we see Atziri. It's just crazy. Grinding Your Games are cooking. Guys, people who typically aren't even hyped about PoE2 leagues, I see freaking out about Atziri everywhere. It's they cooked with this one. They cooked. They're ready to go. I'm ready to go too, guys. All right, Exiles, I think that's it. I didn't want to make this one too long. Oh my goodness, I've been going for 19 minutes. It might be long. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Are you as excited as I am? Were you talking at the Thanksgiving dinner table about Atziri and how she might have obtained her secondary pair of glands? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel for more PoE2 content. There's a lot of stuff coming. Podcasts, news videos, an interview with Jonathan Rogers, and so much more. I cannot wait for this patch. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. Happy Black Friday. Have a great weekend. I'll see you in the next one. Stay staying.